say good evening to everybody and happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday to all of you. Perfectly, you're well. Let's go! Let's
I'm like, come
go!
on now, what is happening?
The enemy. That's what happened with the enemy. The enemy is what's happening. But we won't let them have the victory. So I do want to say good evening to you, Miss Bell. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm really well, really, really well. Thank you so
Good.
much, of course, for doing this interview and taking the time out of your very busy schedule, and even
Thank
more busier now.
you.
7:20. Now we were supposed to get started at 7 o'clock, so I'll just jump right into
Wow.
what we have planned tonight, Miss Bell. So let me just
Goofball.
ask you this: Can you hear me? Can you
Yeah,
hear?
I can.
Can you hear? Sweet. Okay, so normally before my interviews, Ms. Bell, I do just a little quick speed round, 10 questions, just to get to know, small questions, just to get to know you before we jump into the actual questionnaire for tonight. While
Okay.
you all are coming on, joining, and watching us, feel free to put some comments in the, put some questions in the comment section below and or the question section below. All right. So the very first one is a speed round, so we just run through it really, really fast. Here it is. Let's go. With a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, grape or strawberry?
Great.
Small circle or big circle?
Small.
You prefer to cook or bake?
C- Cook or bake? Cook. Yeah.
Cook, okay? So with grits, this is the determining one. With grits, sugar
Salt.
or salt? All right. All right. There it is. There it is. No, half full. You prefer half full or half empty?
Uh, Half full.
In the spirit of the biopic, popcorn with butter or without butter?
With butter.
Early bird or night owl?
Night owl.
Do you prefer to talk or text, Miss Bell?
Text.
Text. All right. So all of you that are calling her past the wee hours of the night, she's not going to respond. You be encouraged. You be encouraged.
I'm
Ideal,
sorry.
ideal vacay.
Ideal vacay. Let's see. Shucks, I don't know. I'm a homebody, so it doesn't even matter to me.
So the quarantine is doing you just fine. You good with being home and
Look,
bed.
my daughter is she's homeschooled anyway, so we're good.
Oh, sweet, sweet.
Yeah.
So you said very last one. Very last one. Do you prefer to sing or act? I know the acting bug is big. You prefer to sing or act?
Act.
Act. All right. So there it is. There you have it. There you have it. I do want to say good evening to everybody that is just joining on. If you do not know, I have the one and only Christina Bell, and I stand corrected, who played Twinkie Clark in the First Ladies of Gospel. We're gonna go ahead and I don't know what my mind was still on this bird chat. We're gonna go ahead and get started and dive into what we have planned tonight. I don't plan to be before you long. We'll be running through the questions, and feel free if you have any questions to put those in the comment or the question section. Miss Bell, what did you do or where were you when you first got the news that, hey, I'm going to be playing Twinkie? Where were you and who did
uh
you tell?
I was home. My management called, and I have two managers, and so they called me on three-way, and I was like, what? They were like, "Teen, we have some news," and I was like, "Okay, what?" They were like, "You're Twinkie, and you're going to Canada." I was like, "Oh my God!" So I was screaming and going crazy, and the next person that I called was my mom. So then she started crying, and she got the Baptist fit.
Oh,
So yeah,
praise the Lord.
yeah.
Praise the Lord. Let me ask you this. Is there anything about, let me ask you this first. Did you have, knowing that it was going to be a faith-based film, did you have to prepare spiritually at all? Or how did you prepare yourself?
Actually, in anything that I do, I prepare myself spiritually because even if you are doing something faith based or not, if it's mainstream or whether it's faith based, I always make sure that I maintain my prayer life. I make sure that I talk to God and even with my circle, we talk to God. So it's definitely nothing that I go into. I don't go into anything without prayer and without getting a word from God. And that stuff is really, really important to me.
Pastor Mike Jr. says, I still can't believe you let that man push your mom. That's so funny. Miss Bell, let
Pastor
me
Mike, please. Now listen. Now you number one. Now listen,
Pastor Mike said,
don't
I'm
let
in.
the devil ride, huh?
Let's. Oh, we're gonna have fun tonight. Let me ask you this, Miss Bell. What was your favorite scene from the movie? What was your favorite scene to actually act out in the movie?
Favorite scene has to be it's one with I don't know if you guys remember it, but it's the really quick scene with Kiera, myself, and well, it was with Drew, Karen, and Twinkie. And when I or we allow Karen to understand that Drew is interested in her, when we started laughing, that was unscripted. So like we weren't really supposed to do it.
Really?
We
But
weren't
we
supposed
can't
to
tell
do
it was
that.
so authentic and genuine. We couldn't tell. That's crazy.
We were
That's
so
crazy.
goofy.
So that's a great segue to my next question. Which sister of the cast members were you able to, I guess, get really, really close with?
Everybody, we all got like really close with each other,
Sweet.
because we were always together. So there was not a moment that we weren't together unless we were working on a different scene. But everything was kind of quick, especially when we were working. Well, not quick, but we had to make sure that we had lines and all that stuff down, rehearsals and stuff. So majority of the time we hung out together. So we went out to eat together. We went to shows together, and just we became a big family. You know what I'm saying? I think I may be closest to um, Kiera and Angela today. But as far as like while we were on set, it was definitely everybody. We were just connect. We all connected like a family for real, for real.
Sweet, sweet,
Yeah,
sweet, sweet. Now, I think that really kind of showed through the movie as well. It showed from somebody that was watching it on the outside. You can see that you guys are really, really close in relationship, not just for the job, but for the acting role. Let me ask
absolutely.
you this, Miss Bell: is there anything about playing Twinkie's role that has helped you career-wise? Is there anything that you can say that you've taken from Twinkie that said, "Hey, I can use this in my everyday life"?
Honestly, because Twinkie went through before I went through it, but she went through things before I knew about it even. And I can say that I connected with her a lot as far as divorce, as far as being a single parent, even being in a group, and definitely gravitating to the fact that she loved people or loves people
Mm.
and wants for the best from people, but she also wants to have something for herself. So I can definitely say I learned to kind of ease back because everybody's not going to like you. And
That's so good.
even having conversation with my management before the movie came out, they were like, "Okay, so let's go ahead and prepare you. Don't be reading all in your comments and stuff because it's probably going to be people that don't like how you acted or anything like that for the film. So don't be all up in your comments, and just understand that it's okay and you don't have to make people like you. So just be yourself." And but it definitely showed me that I didn't have to gravitate to everybody. Everybody's not going to like me and all that stuff or whatever.
Mm.
So yeah.
That's really good. That's so
Yeah.
good. All right, let me ask you this. So the famous scene where you sold your catalog, or Twinkie sold her catalog for the Lincoln. I want to know, how did you conjure up those tears? Where did you have to go? What place did you have to go to mentally to get those tears? Where did they come from?
Honestly, since I was a kid, my
Mhm.
mom told me, she was like, "You just know how to cry on cue." Now hear me out though. It's never been fake for me to cry, but like if I mean I'm super duper emotional. Like I'm really emotional. So that's the reason why a lot of people are not in my circle. So I have to keep negative weird people out of my circle because if you hurt my feelings, I'm done. Like I'm, you know, so I'm boohooing. But because I understood her, I understood her heart. I was actually there with her. Like I felt what she would have been feeling or what she could have been feeling when that happened to her in real life. And, you know, it actually hurt because this is where you're telling your family members that you've actually done something, made a big decision, and you want them to be happy for you. And
Yeah.
then it turns around that they're
Yeah.
like,
All against.
you did what now? You know, and so I was there. I was definitely there. So I thought about all of that, and that was in each emotional scene.
All right, y'all heard that. And I want to say this: your management, your management said you are a tear machine. So like literally a cry. That's so funny. That is so. Look, I said. Let me ask you this, Ms. Bell. Is there anything from the movie that you know that was cut? So any behind the scene moments that we weren't able to see that you guys actually worked through and acted out?
Yeah, there was a lot.
Okay.
I think by the time that I can't even say how many hours were filmed, but I remember this one scene that was not in the film, and unfortunately, you guys did not get to see it, but it was a scene where I was. It's right before uh, the breakdown. So
Mm.
Twinkie goes into the church, but the first thing that she does is she sits. I don't know if you all have seen the photo, but the first thing that she does is sit down in the congregation or in the pews, and she's crying, and she starts singing "Is My Living in Vain?"
Dang.
And that's what really brought that next thing too, when she goes up those stairs and she's just like, she's done with. So that
Yeah.
part, you guys didn't get to see that, but it was a really, really heavy scene. Yeah. Christine and I talked about it the other day, and she was like, man, I really hate that they didn't get the chance to see it, but you know, it's all good.
It was all good. We were still fed. Let me ask you this: is there anything from the movie or from playing Twinkie Clark that has helped you vocally? Has it stretched you in any type of way?
Donald Lawrence.
Okay, okay, that's it. Mic drop. We out of here. It's a wrap tonight. Donald Lawrence.
Done.
Okay.
Absolutely. He's incredible. He's a genius, you know, and he actually made the process easy, helping us understand how to get their tones and their texture and what it is to do to make sure that we sound hopefully almost exactly like the Clark sisters when they were younger. So he made sure. I think that he'd been studying like years and years and years ahead of us, but we definitely got into that studio. He was talking us through and telling us, you know, how to form our round our lips to get the vowel sounds out, and you know, not to be so heavy here or whatever the case would be. So it was a lot, and definitely easy with him though.
And so before we get to that question, let me ask you this. If you were not a singer, if you were not an artist, if you were not an actor, two-part question, what would you be doing? A part. B part is, what are your hobbies? What do you do in your downtime?
So I would more than likely be a makeup artist.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Um,
Eyebrows on fleek
yeah,
tonight.
yeah. Slash esthetician. I went to school for cosmetology, so I was definitely into that. And let's see, what's the second part?
So hobby, what do you do in your downtime? I know you said you were a homebody, but is there something that you like to do in your downtime?
I literally sing all day. Like that's just me. I just that's all I do. I don't really like I have such a boring life. So if I'm not working, I'm definitely just I sing all the time. But now I've added to that what since I've done the movie, I can't stop paying attention to when I look at a film now how they came up with that scene. So I always have something in my head like, oh my gosh, like I know how they did that. You know what I'm saying? So that's actually now turned into a hobby of mine. I'm like, oh, okay, I know how they did that. Uh-huh. Okay, okay. All right.
I've been peeping how you do that. I've been taking notes. I got you.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah, yeah.
see. Sweet. So for those of you, let me go ahead and say this. For those of you that are just coming on and did not start at the beginning, you're late. You be encouraged. We started around 7:20.
Uh-oh.
I was late as well, but feel free to put your comments or questions in the bottom section for Miss Bell to answer them, and I will see about getting those answered tonight. We won't be here too long, but let's just take a few questions, Miss Bell, while I have you. The very first one: how did you master how Twinkie sings and holds that bottom?
So for those of you that are not familiar with, sorry, I see a friend of
Uh-oh.
mine and he up in here acting a fool. Anyway, so for those of you that are not familiar with the group that I used to sing with, named Ziel, I was the contralto in the group, so I'm good there. Like that, that was already my thing. What people don't know is that when they see those videos of me singing all high and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
those videos are far and in between. It's not like I'm just sitting up there doing that every single night. So, I'm not a soprano. My sister Crystal, she's the soprano.
I love your sister too.
She all right.
Next,
I'm
she
sorry.
alright.
She probably be on here. I'm
I'm the
sorry.
poppin' sister. She alright though. She alright. Call me though. Call me. Keep your speed down. She alright.
Man.
That's the question tonight. What was the toughest thing about working in the? That's a good question. Toughest thing about working in the actual biopic.
Oh goodness. Getting my head out of being nervous about not doing a good job.
Mm.
You do something like this, you step into this and this is new for you. You
So you're
have
a
people
hard
that,
critic on yourself.
well, I was,
Okay.
because you have so many people that have done this for years and years and years, even those that auditioned, they didn't get it and I did. So of course it was this heavy weight on me, like, okay, they're gonna be like picking everything apart. But then I had to get to the place where I was like, get out of that. So that was actually the hardest part. Everything else came a little bit easier for me because I got the opportunity to work with my acting coach, Stevie. She helped me to get through like that process was, even though it was tedious, it was definitely, it was exciting because I got to see things that I never would have probably gone to see, which were interviews of Twinkie and how she is slow to speak and she thinks about what it is that she's going to say first, whereas I speak way faster than her because sometimes I'm not thinking about what it is that I'm going to say. But it's all right. You know what I'm saying? So doing my research and actually paying attention, it made it really, really easy. But the other part was just getting out of my head.
So where do you have any personalities, any similar personalities, you and Twinkie? I know Karen, not Karen. Kiara said it was hard for her to play Karen because Karen is a very quiet and conserved and first lady-ish, and Kiara is the exact opposite. So do
Mm.
you and Twinkie have any similar personalities in any way?
I think Twinkie is goofy like me,
Okay.
and especially with what I was looking at, she loves to laugh, and that's definitely right up my alley.
Yep.
I'm ready to laugh at any point. You just give me the eye, and I'm out. I'm done. Like I probably won't be able to stop laughing, but definitely that, and probably again like how she reacted to her sisters coming down on her. So I think that we have that in common as well. Kind of very emotional when it comes to wanting people to be proud of the
Mm,
decision that was made. Yeah.
that's so good. Now that you say that, let me segue this. I know that you have a daughter. Is there anything that you wanted her in the back of your mind to pick up or get from the movie?
If I can get my daughter to look at the movie,
Oh,
let me tell you something. Let me
uh-oh,
let me tell you something. Hello. Let
uh-oh,
me come closer. You
uh-oh,
guys,
uh-oh.
my daughter is over this whole thing. She's completely over it. Okay, so she's like,
The movie part or the entire life of
she's
Twinkie?
she's over everything. She's like, it's back on.
Oh,
How many times is it gonna come on? Like, you're a nasty, mean girl.
Listen, listen. Who's supposed to be your number one fan? I mean, she's supposed to be
Listen,
number one supporter.
cha, cha, cha. She going through
Listen,
that phase, so she like, okay,
wrap this up. It's all about
yeah.
me. I need to be homeschooled. No, I get it. Let me
Yeah,
ask you
so
it's a question. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I would actually want her to see it so that she can understand not to not to sell herself short. Um, and that's even no matter what other people think. Of course, have
Mm,
your own mind, but definitely pay attention to uh, the possibilities of what could and could not happen from uh, your decisions. I'm not saying just be like scared to make a decision, but pay attention to what could or could not happen. I think that there's importance in making sure that you write down your ABCD plan. If it doesn't work,
ooh.
then what? Like a lot of people don't.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Working out at all, but the possibility of it not working out. So what else can I do to make sure that that thing is going to actually come through? That's important to me.
That is that, and that's so good. That's so good, especially for people that are just starting in their business, entrepreneurs, people that are unbiased in their decisions, because a lot of people, especially during this quarantine, are battling a lot during Corona, battling a lot
Absolutely.
mentally, and they don't
Absolutely.
know how to come out. But you said something so powerful when you were talking about the interview process. How there was many of people that went through that process, but you were chosen, and that just took me back to scripture. Many are called, but few are chosen. So I would just
Ha!
encourage you.
Uh-oh,
What you
sorry.
say? I just encourage you. Just encourage you for those of you that are
Whew.
watching here tonight. Don't give up. Don't be weary in well doing. Your
There you
season
go.
is coming. Your season is coming.
Absolutely.
Here's a question tonight for tonight. What was the saddest or hardest thing to do? Did you? I think maybe I already answered. Do you have an answer to that? You may have already answered
I
that.
think I may have already answered it, but
Okay.
just a piece of it. So the most challenging scenes for me are always the more emotional scenes. So like if I have to cry, you have to remember those scenes are
How?
actually
Bernie said
taken.
you were a tear machine. So that means you
Well,
cry at the drop
because
of a.
I can do that, but you have to understand that takes a toll on you after a while. Like
Okay.
if you're having to do that all day long, like remember these days are hours long. So you're having to do that from different angles and stuff and having to constantly
Mm.
do that and be in that mind, that space it can wear you. So I would even have to call Burn and Devontae, and we would have to, get some laughter going because I didn't want to be in that place all day long. That takes a toll. And then on top of that, I'm still having to homeschool my child back home because she wasn't in Canada with me. So
Burns,
what
please
did he say?
stop. Please. Cry, cry right now. If you cry right now, I'll pin your cash up. Cry right now.
No, I am
Burns
not.
is so funny. Here's a
I'm
question
not
for
doing that right now. I'm not at work, people.
she's not at work, people, all right?
I'm
Are you
not
going
getting
to
paid to cry right now.
and you heard that. You be encouraged from all sides tonight. You be encouraged. Are you going to collab with Kiara anytime soon in the future? Is it your goal to collab with Kiara?
Want to. We actually wanted to do a tour. We were actually gearing up to do a tour a couple of years ago. It didn't work
Oh,
out, but we actually have been talking about some things from time to time. So hopefully it works out and we get to do that. I guess bring the Baptist and she'll bring the Kojic. I don't know.
a great mix. A great mix. What was your favorite song to sing in the movie? I would assume.
Let's see. So many. Praying Spirit and let's see. What's the other one? Shucks. It's the not the one that's introing the song. Oh,
Find the question.
oh, oh. What he's done for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a good one. What is your favorite scripture in the Bible and why?
Romans 8 and 28, and we know that all things work
All
together
things.
for the good. Listen, let me tell y'all something. I have been on that scripture ever since I was a little girl. Let me tell you the reason why. Because so many things would always work themselves out through Christ. And it was so amazing to just see things unfold, even when I didn't make the best decisions in my life, and God kept covering me, and I was like, oh my gosh. Like, and I'm not talking about no genie in a bottle stuff. I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying he really did keep covering me. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that I have always been faithful to him and wanting to honor him the best way that I could possibly honor him. And so it's always worked out. And so I've been living with that scripture ever since I was a kid, man. Like, I love, 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 love that scripture. From time to time, I'll even post it, in my stories. So yeah, I love that scripture. Romans 8 and 28. People.
Take that into your notes. Here's another question. Is it true you're from Shreveport, Louisiana? Shreveport.
I am born and raised from Shreveport, Louisiana. On the playground is where I spent most of my days, chilling
Hey,
out, maxing, relaxing,
hey,
all cool and all, shooting
hey.
some b-ball outside of the school. Okay, I'm sorry.
Wait, no, I'm just saying, you know all of the words. We in
When
tonight.
a couple of guys, they were no good. Started
Yo,
making trouble in my neighborhood. I got in one little fight, and my mom's got scared and said, "You're moving with your auntie and uncle in Bel Air." I
hey,
whistled for a cab, and when it came
oh,
near, the license plate had fresh in it and dice in the mirror. If anything, I could say that this cab was rare, but I thought, man, forget it. Yo, it was
no,
a
it was
Bel Air.
good. Let's go. I'm here for it tonight. I am so here for this tonight. I love that. I love,
I
I
love
love that.
it.
I love that. So many sides and facets to Miss Bell. Jeez. Let's see. Can you be my vocal coach? That's the A
I would
part of that.
love to be.
The B part of that is when is Vocal Bells coming back?
You already know. So, prayerfully, it'll be in the fall. So right now, I'm actually honestly gearing up to get more people on my team because I'm praying to be really, really busy.
Yeah.
And I really want to help people to, even those people that don't necessarily want to be soloists, but people that have the little tremble in their voice, or they really don't understand the concept of vocal health or anything like that. I really want to be a help to a lot of people starting from the ages of 8 and up. So I think it's really, really important, very vital information that I give to my students. And again, vocalbells.com. So just go on there, subscribe, and as soon as we are up and running for the fall, you can definitely get your vocals and all that good stuff intact.
All right. So that's to all of you singers, ministers, worshipers, and even wannabes.
Huh?
Run over to vocalbell.com and subscribe. Question, here we are. We have about 2 minutes left, guys. So if you're just not coming on, feel free to load your comments. There's a lot of questions here. Load your comments in the question section below, and we'll wrap this up in the last 2 minutes. What would you prefer? Makeup artist or to do it yourself?
I would prefer a makeup artist, definitely, because I'm spoiled. But the makeup artist has to know what they're doing, and their tools have to be clean. Thank you.
Oh, she said no corona over here. You be blessed. She said no coronavirus, no COVID-19, none of that.
Thank you.
Let's see. Let's see. People are asking you to sing. I won't post that. Favorite R&B song?
Oh goodness. Summer Rain, definitely. Carl Thomas. In the middle of the night when I'm alone. Sorry. I feel her kisses
Sing tonight.
on me,
Sing.
even when she's gone. Okay. Can't wait till she gets home.
Oh.
Summer rain. Okay, let me stop.
Stop, but keep going. Stop, but keep going. Stop. Speaking of going, any new upcoming personal music for you, Miss Bell?
Yes, I have been working on music for forever. Ever since I was in the womb, I've been working. And so, yeah, hopefully we'll have something out before the year is up. Oh my gosh, we have been working diligently, making sure that everything is right. Working with some wonderful, wonderful writers and producers. So, prayerfully, before this year is up, you guys will have something. I actually posted just a little something the other day on my stories, and I got a lot of feedback on that. Not on the stories on Facebook, but on my stories on Instagram.
This was a really great question. This will be the very last question for tonight because your manager did tell me that the interview should be under 30 minutes, and the Bible
Kadoke.
says obedience is better than
Ha!
sacrifice. So I want to
All
be
right.
obedient here tonight. Praise God. Very last question. Do you think you'll ever tell your testimony, whatever that may be?
I actually have told my testimony on Facebook before, and it's never been in a bigger way before. So there are probably a few hundred people that have actually paid attention to the video. You know how you can see the number that have actually logged in to see it. So just a few hundred people, but I'm prayerful that I'll have a book out, and you guys will be able to get that book and actually see the information and my life story and what I've encountered and dealt with in life. And yeah, so maybe I don't know, maybe one day. I doubt that it'll be alive because again, I'm an emotional person and I really don't want to go down that rabbit hole because I'd be like, I can't stand it. Definitely in a book or something. It won't be a movie. Okay,
Okay. She said, "Don't look for that. Don't
won't be
look
a
for
movie.
another biopic." All
Mm-mm.
right, so that's the very last. Let me ask you this, and I promise you I'm letting you go. Is there one thing that you would want people to know about Christina Bell that maybe even be misunderstood by most? What is that one thing that you want people to take away from encountering Miss Bell?
I don't tell nobody my business, so
Uh
you all
oh.
have a good day.
Uh
Okay,
oh.
I'm just
Y'all
kidding.
be blessed tonight. Y'all be blessed. See y'all tomorrow. This is my grandmother
No,
word. Y'all be
I'm
blessed.
I'm gonna tell you this. In order to keep your mind in a place where you're focused and you're sure of yourself, just make sure you keep your business out of the street. Don't post all your personal life business and stuff. In
Woo, that's
in
so
getting
good.
connected with my management, they've taught me a lot. They've told me what to put on social media and what to keep off of social media. If you don't want anybody talking your business, don't put it up there. And I've been living by that for years and years and years. I think that that is very important. It doesn't even matter if you are the biggest star or if you are just somebody from your hometown that doesn't really get into a lot of stuff. Keep your business off of social media because it's what I do, unless I want y'all to know something. Huh? Oh,
Uh-oh.
God.
Uh-oh. Discretion is key. Discretion is key. So there you have vocal bells on the rise. You also have a book that's coming up soon, and then working on new music. Let's
Absolutely.
go. Let's go. Christina, I am super, super excited for you. Of course,
Thank you, Cody.
yeah, of course, I know that you have so much fun fact. The first time I met you, I don't even know if you remember this. Someone always has an "I remember you" story. Here's mine. When you came to Wiley College, I was the
Mhm.
host. Wiley, it was a couple of years ago, but you didn't come. You came with this when you were still in Ziel. You
Uh-huh.
were still doing Ziel. You came to sing for our homecoming, and I was the host. And you may not remember it, but that was my very first time meeting you. And the crazy part is, you were just as humble then as you are
Oh,
now. As
how
you are now.
sweet.
Yeah. So that's
Let me see, was that when? That's not Sunday. No, I think y'all had a
It
Sunday
was Sunday
best or
best.
something. Oh,
Right.
that was it.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah,
Sunday
yeah, yeah.
best.
I
Yep,
remember.
yep,
I
yep, 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 yep,
remember.
yep.
I
So yeah,
remember that night very well.
same old bell, same, and that's all what I. And it's one thing I think is really necessary, especially for people that are coming up in this business. You always have to not only keep a spirit of integrity, but to keep a spirit of humility. You never know how far or how high God wants to take you. And I'll just close out with this scripture: He who humbles himself will be exalted, and he who
Uh-oh.
exalts himself will be humbled. Just put. Maybe I should post my cash up here tonight. No, I'm just
Huh?
joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. I had so much fun.
Wait!
I had so. Go stream our EP. Just believe. It's on
Oh yeah,
digital
yeah,
outlets.
yeah. My EP is out, people. So make sure that you go and stream it. It's Just Believe. It's on all digital outlets, platforms. I would really, really, really appreciate it if you guys make sure that you have my music, Just Believe and Going. Just Believe is the EP, and Going is my single that is out. That is hopefully going to be on my live album coming out this year.
Hey, turn up, turn up, turn up, and not only just stream, but purchase it, purchase it, purchase it, purchase it,
Please.
purchase it as well. That's a wrap for us tonight. Hopefully, Miss Bell was entertaining. Hopefully, you had a whole lot of fun. I did. I had a whole lot
I
of fun.
did.
I do
I
want to say
did.
again, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to sit with little old Cody here in Houston, Texas. Also, whenever you're in the city, please feel free to stop by the radio
You know I'm
station.
coming.
I'd
I'm
love
coming.
to have you. I love to have you. All right, so no more questions. Anything else you want to say to close us out tonight and give us a
I love you
benediction?
guys. I love you all, and I pray that everything that is in your faith, that you are not just looking at it, but that you're asking God to help you to achieve your goals and your aspirations and all of that stuff. Don't give up. Just 9 years ago, I posted something on Facebook about me working in Hollywood, and here I am today. It's not necessarily Hollywood, but my God, it is definitely very close. I mean, anything that's 11
I was about
point
to say, what are you talking about?
whatever
11 million
million.
bills.
So,
What are you You're here.
but
You're there. Go ahead.
thanks be to God. Thanks be to God. So I really pray that you guys achieve your goals and accomplish it and go after it with the most positive mind that you can possibly go with.
Boom. There you have it. Keep peace and keep love in all that you do. Christina,
Indeed.
again, I love you. Thank you so
I
much
love
for taking
you.
this time with me tonight. Y'all go follow Miss Christina Bell and go get all of the music. Be on the lookout for vocal bells as well. And then if you haven't, feel free to go see the Clark Sisters, First Ladies of Gospel. The movie, I believe, is still on videos on demand on Lifetime. So if you haven't already seen that,
Yes.
go do yourself a favor. Miss Bell, thank you so much.
I
I
love
appreciate it.
you.
Have a great night.
Hey. Good night.
Be safe. Be quarantined. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
I had so much fun. Hopefully, y'all will stay up to date with what's going on. Listen, next week I have another interview coming up, and y'all don't want to miss it. In the meantime, go hit that follow button so you can stay up to date with the next interview. We've already talked to Angela Burchett. We've already talked to Christine Swanson. Who could be next? I love y'all.